Hey everyone, this is Chris, and this is a review of the Excelvan 4K Ultra HD 30 frame per second action camera. It's another one of the cameras that I got sent to me, so I'm reviewing it. It's supposed to be like a 4K comparator to the what is it, the SJ4000 Plus, or whatever their 4K version is. So I've just been playing around with it, got some test footage, and I'll show you what it is. So overall with this camera, it does pretty good, especially for its price. It's only $50 that supposedly records 4K. It does have a 2.7K mode. I just didn't run that. And it also has a 720 at 60 and 720 at 30 that I did not run as well. Those modes, basically the 720 at 60 and 720 at 30 could save you space on your memory card if you're limited. I'm running a 64 gig card in here and it ran fine. So I'm not really limited on space. The first thing that I noticed, the 4K isn't true 4K, it is upscaled. And I noticed that just on the file size. Before I even played it back, I noticed that it wasn't big enough to be true 4K. The 2.7, I didn't have any 2.7K sample to look at for the file size, so I couldn't tell how they scaled that or if it is scaled or not. I'm betting it is, because for the $50 price tag of this camera, I highly doubt that they have a sensor in there that can actually handle even 2.7. So I'm guessing the 4K is scaled up from 1080p, and the 2.7 is scaled up from somewhere just below 1080p to get those two. The camera came with tons of accessories. Unlike that last camera I reviewed, it actually had all of the parts. Like some things that it needed is you have this little skeleton frame. The skeleton frame has a little section on the back for a belt clip. The other one did not have the belt clip with it. This one does. I don't know where I put it right now, but it came with a belt clip. They also came with a basic USB charger, which is nice. It's just a basic 5 volt 1 amp charger, which is actually amazing. It's a 1 amp, not one of those little 600 or 800 milliamp chargers. So it definitely is, it works, and it works much better than some of the cheaper chargers I've had. They come with the cables, a handlebar mount or a pipe mount, a bunch of the basic stuff. They also come with the longer extensions for the, whatever you want to call them, the GoPro style bracketing, which comes in handy when you're wanting to move the camera further away from something and still mount it. It gives you that extra, rather than just having a little short half-inch ones, they give you like a 1 inch. And then they have a half-inch in there as well, and the 90 degrees off or off-axis bendable joint. Comes with the waterproof case, a whole bunch of surface mounts. It came with 3 surface mounts, 1 rounded and then 2 flat. You can stick on whatever, and it came with a whole bag full of double-sided adhesive. So it comes with quite a bit of stuff. It also came with a steel lanyard, which I thought was rather interesting, because a lot of these come with really cheap lanyards, but a nice steel lanyard is handy, especially if you're going to use it for action sports. And a pile of zip ties. I'm guessing that's to reinforce some of the other mounts. But they give you all kinds of things in there. Definitely, if you like the footage, go pick them up. This one was from a seller on eBay, so I will link to that. And they sent it to me to review it after seeing my last one. But I'll put the link in the description for that. And I know eBay is a little difficult sometimes, so you may actually have to search for the camera name to get it. I also have another camera coming up it's a direct knockoff of the SJ4000. It's not trying to upscale to 4K like this guy. So I'll have that one out shortly. And if you guys want to see any other comparisons, let me know. Just a note, the only reason that I use the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 is because this is the only camera that I currently have that can record true 4K. So I recorded 4K with this to give you a baseline for what 4K should actually look like versus what that camera was. You can see in the 4K mode that it did have a little issue with the scaling not being exact, which a lot of people say there's a variation in 4K, but there's not. When you have a properly scaled frame, 4K is 4K. That'd be like saying, hey, 1080p, if it's 1072, it's close, so it's 1080p. No, it's not. 1080p is a number. 4K seems like it should be 4,000 pixels, but it's not quite. It's very close. I think they just didn't want it to be the 3.92 or whatever K. It just doesn't sound as cool as 4K. One thing that I did like about the little action camera is if you look at some of the shots where I'm looking at the sun, you can see that it has a lot better blues and things of the sky rather than my Note 5. It definitely did a little better on that. The Note 5 had a little better dynamic range though, picking up the sun as well as the trees and shadows and things behind it. I also had the block work in there for trying to get some geometric motion. There are some cameras that really stumble when you get repetitive geometric shapes. Just like in 4K mode, if you look at the asphalt, it sort of dances, I guess you could say, or pixelates. And that's one of those geometric anomalies that can happen with cameras. When they start seeing a repetitive system, they don't quite understand. So the blocks were in there for that, and then the reflective surfaces to try and see how it does in reacting to reflected surfaces. And overall, if you liked it, let me know. If you want to hear anything else, let me know. And I'll be back with the other review soon. See you later.